I'm Andrew Dan Jumbo. Join me as we continue keeping it green on Operation Build. I'm here in Blauvelt, New York at AERCO International, a leading manufacturer in hot water and heating technologies that also takes its environmental responsibilities very seriously. Let's go check them out. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I knew I'd find you somewhere in the building.
Welcome.
And what a building it is. It's absolutely massive here.
Thank you.
Well, I know you're going to give us an amazing tour of this facility, but I wanted to get an idea about what AERCO is, what its history is, and just find out what it is you manufacture here.
Sure. So we provide high-efficiency commercial heat and hot water solutions to a variety of end markets, such as universities, hospitals, office buildings, public schools, basically any non-residential building you could find an AERCO water heater or boiler providing the heat and hot water for that facility.
And when you say solutions, you mean you develop the whole system for them?
We
so
do,
you come in and address whatever their needs are.
That's
and
exactly
customize
what
it.
We do, yes.
So just commercial?
Just commercial. We've been around since 1949.
Wow.
We're founded by a man named Henry Angelieri as Angelieri Engineering and Research Company.
Yep.
And back then we introduced what was a revolutionary design for a water heater that heated water on demand at a controlled temperature without storage.
Yep.
So you're only using what you need when you need it. You don't need to heat up these big tanks of water to prevent bacteria and then cool them back down to prevent scalding when water comes out of the faucet, for example.
So that really is a very early example of a high efficiency.
Exactly.
And of course, everything's going high efficiency now.
Yes.
I didn't know that technology was so old. I thought it was something that would come around more recently.
Yeah, so there's been a huge transition over the past 20 years or so, obviously, to high efficiency equipment across the board due to the environmental concerns. We've taken that technology over the years and improved upon it, and in 1988 we introduced the first fully modulating and condensing commercial gas-fired water heater and boiler.
Yeah.
It's become kind of the standard in the industry today.
Yeah. Well, I know from my research that AERCO is an industry leader in this field, and I hear an awful lot of noise back there.
Yes.
So I think it's time to start the tour of the factory.
Great, let's go see.
Lead on.
Okay. So this is our robotic welder, which is taking our heat exchanger, which is actually right here.
Yep.
All these corrugated tubes, we load these into this tube sheet, and then the robotic welder welds every single one of these welds on both the top and bottom of the tube sheet.
So that's what we're seeing right now. This is going through one tube at a time, and it's welding each one of these.
Exactly.
Which
in a very specific pattern that allows it not
to warp.
Not to flex and warp. Yes.
That's interesting. So obviously it's a very precise thing. And there's so many welds here as well.
There is, yes. And depending on the size of the unit, the BTU output, the unit shrinks or expands. It's a platform design, so less tubes, less output, more tubes, more output.
How long does it take?
The whole operation, I believe, takes about 2 hours, top and bottom.
Does the robot have a name?
Robot 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're about to get to our automated brazing machine, which brazes our domestic hot water heaters.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different than the robotic welder in that this is a brazing machine, not a welding.
So brazing is just another way of bonding metal together, but
Exactly.
using a slightly different technology.
Yes.
It looks pretty high-tech in there.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat thing to watch. So you're about to see the unit will be lowered down.
Yep.
And then these flames will braze all of the joints at the same temperature at the same time.
Yeah.
Where we assemble our 6 million BTU commercial condensing boiler. It's the smallest 6 million BTU boiler in the world.
Yep.
Which is an advantage for many of our customers. You can imagine in retrofit applications. So when you're retrofitting an existing building, you're taking out, whatever's existing in that building to heat it. you can bring all of our units from 1 million up to 6 million through a standard 36-inch doorway.
So it's huge for retrofitting.
You can take it down an elevator.
Yeah.
You don't have to get helicopters and fly them in, or bust down walls, or do other things that are extremely costly when you're retrofitting a building.
Just to get a sense of 6 million BTUs, obviously that's a British thermal unit.
Yes.
I know that.
There you go.
But to get a sense of what that will be, another like a competition's boiler, how much bigger would it need to be to match the output of that in terms of the size?
Yeah, so we can actually show you that. Over there we have some of the competitive footprints on the floor, but you're going to be anywhere from, you could be up to twice the size or even larger.
To get the same amount of output. So this is super high efficiency.
It is.
So there's obviously a lot of secret things going on inside there that you can't tell me.
Things, of course,
special secrets. She's a very secretive person. So it's very peaceful in here. I guess there's a lot of deep thinking takes place in this space.
There is, yeah. We have to keep it a little bit quiet in here so all the engineers can bring out the genius.
Be creative, new products, new technologies and stuff. So what do you have going? What do you have up your sleeve right now?
Yeah, so we have a new technology that we've recently launched that is a waste heat recovery product, and it's right outside these doors here. So it takes waste heat and turns it into usable power. And our Vice President of Engineering, Lou Borsfeld, can tell us a little bit more about that.
Lou, come on over.
Hey, sure enough. He's very shy.
Lou, Andrew, pleasure to meet you.
Borsfeld.
So I gather this is your space.
This is our space.
Where you hide out.
Where I hide out, and our technicians and engineers hide out. That's correct.
So this is where all the R&D takes place.
That's correct. Yeah, we develop the products here. We build prototypes. We do burner testing. We do pressure testing, performance testing, efficiency testing, and really take the product from a very conceptual stage to a final stage and do several tests, many different tests in between.
Everything gets refined here and then perfected and then ready for general consumption.
Yeah, and even when the first units are being built out on a production floor, we bring them back in here and do final engineering testing as well as production testing, just to make sure that what is actually built on the floor is again meeting the expectations and the specifications that we designed into the equipment.
And there's new technology that you're working with now. I gather you have a unit out on the outside the building here is it called Origin?
Yeah, it's called an Origin. Yeah, it's a new technology. It's a heat recovery system.
Yep.
So it takes on waste heat and converts it into clean, renewable electrical power.
Wow, that doesn't get much greener than that.
It's very green.
It sounds like it may be quite a big machine if it's outside the building. Can we take a look at it?
Absolutely. We can go around this corner and walk right outside.
Lead on, we'll follow you.
Origin works by taking in medium-low temperature heat into the machine, into the Origin, and then turning that into clean, renewable power.
You're extracting what you can in terms of low temperature heat.
Right.
And using that as an energy source.
Yes.
But in what medium though? What does it go through? Is it through?
We pump it into the machine in liquid form.
Okay, that's water or?
It's water. Yeah, it's water.
Okay.
Yeah, water. And we rejected it again at water, but at a lower temperature.
That's a byproduct at that point. Then that's just.
Yeah, that's just part of the closed loop.
Yeah.
And then the power is then generated based on that temperature difference.
What would you say your savings are when Origin's running here at AERCO?
Yep.
What do you think your energy savings are?
Our expected energy savings, it'll cover about 1/3 of our entire utility bill.
That's huge. I can imagine you have a pretty,
We have a sizable utility bill.
Yeah.
We have a sizable utility bill.
I've seen your bill.
Yep.
It's sizable. No, that's amazing. A third is a huge return on the investment. Yeah. Plus, obviously, you're going it's such a green technology in terms of what it's doing.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. And I think you mentioned that when you see smokestacks,
an easy way to think about it is from an application perspective. Anywhere you see a smokestack across the country could be a potential application for the Origin. So we could take that heat, that waste heat that's coming out the stack, pump it through the Origin, and create renewable power.
Power plants could probably use these.
They could, yeah.
like a closed loop, almost like no waste. Absolutely incredible, amazing. You wouldn't think when you look at technologies, until you actually have them explained to you, then you can finally
can really understand the mechanics of how to apply this.
Sure.
So, you know, this is obviously, it's in its early stages in terms of it's being used in the US.
That's correct. Currently, if all waste heat that's being generated in the U.S., only about 6% is recovered.
As little as that.
So there's 94% of the entire market is still accessible, especially on the smaller to mid-size range, which is exactly where this equipment fits in.
Yeah.
This solution fits in. You know, it's an untapped potential.
So you have an exciting future ahead of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes,
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. I'm amazed. I've learned so much in the short time frame. I feel pretty knowledgeable right now. Should you need any help at R&D, don't call me though. It was, absolutely incredible experience. I want to thank you so much for both of you for showing me around, and also just for being part of a corporation that's just got such a tremendous. I guess you just sort of have like this inner core understanding about the value of being environmentally conscious when you with your manufacturing. So it's
Energy
really
efficiency is at the core of everything we do
Yeah.
here.
Well, I'd say mission accomplished. And I want to thank AERCO for being part of the Operation Build team and for working so hard towards the global responsibility towards keeping it green. Antarctica is the cleanest place on Earth and is protected by anti-pollution laws.